Today's book that we're going to be talking about is called Prom Prejudice. And this book is basically about a girl, and her name is named Lizzie Bennet. And she goes to Longbourn, which is a private school, almost like Constance is in Gossip Girl. And she's a scholarship student. So she is not there because she has the money. She's there because she has musical talent. And so obviously there's this prejudice against her because of her background, because she is a scholarship student, because she doesn't have money like the rest of the kids there. This is a classic and book where she meets Will Darcy and they're connected through Jane, which she first just makes efforts to be friendly to them because they are friends with her friend Jane, and she adores Jane. She loves Jane. She thinks of Jane. She describes Jane as a saint. So she feels in debt to get along with these guys. And she meets Will Darcy, whom she sees as a absolute jerk. She hates him, and they're both prejudiced towards each other. They both don't like each other because of their backgrounds. So Lizzie doesn't like Will Darcy because Will Darcy is rich and wealthy and she thinks he's a pompous jerk. And Will Darcy doesn't like her because she's a scholarship student, which Will Darcy has, as you will learn, he has problems with. But Will Darcy grows to like Lizzie. And this is the classic boy likes girl, but girl doesn't know, but everyone else seems to know. But she doesn't like him because she thinks because she thinks he hates her and thinks that he's a douche and just hates him overall. And this is a classic young adult novel. It's a teen novel where the main character faces insecurity and belittlement and doesn't feel valued. She's having a hard time coping with things and she's having people bully her. So this is kind of like a classic young adult novel. It talks about connection versus connections. Lizzie will actually refer to this in the novel. When she meets Wick, she refers to this connection and versus connections. It has a very enticing plot. It makes you want to keep reading. Like I said, I finished this book within a few days because it was very enticing. One of the best things that I like about Lizzie is that she's not perfect. And I think that's what I love about this, because some books have the main character be this perfect kind of girl. And Lizzie is not the perfect kind of girl. She's talented, but she's relatable. You can relate to her. And I think that's what makes her, this novel itself, such an interesting read. And it's because your protagonist is not perfect. There are some novels with like irrational, unreasonable protagonist, and Lizzie is not one of those. She is a smart girl, but she's flawed, and one of the best things about it is she's not stupid. She knows what she's doing. I loved this book because I actually really felt emotion from it. I didn't think that I would enjoy this as much, because when I started reading, it wasn't like as eloquent as the other high tier books that I've been reading. If you've been following along with the book reviews, you know that we've done A Tale of Two Cities, The Color Purple, and those books are so eloquent. They're written so beautifully, and I'm just transitioning over to these more young adultish books, and I'm kind of like off balance, but you do feel emotion. I found myself laughing at the jokes made in this book. I found myself almost crying at other parts. We get to watch the characters grow and develop, which to me is important in every single book. And I think this is really important to really build the characters slowly. You get the whys of why they do things, and you get explanations, and you understand why they choose to do what they do. And as you learn about the characters, you really get to grow with them as well. So this is not really just this character is this or this character is that. You actually really get to see the character as a whole person. It touches on the topic of discrimination, prejudice, growth, and realism. I mean, being realistic about something. It's about seeing realities as it is and not using preconceived notions to alter reality. And I realized this towards the end of the novel, where they kind of more nudged us towards it. And I feel like this book kind of shows us to live life with meaning rather than tradition for tradition's sake. Obviously, I can't really tell you too much about that statement. You're gonna have to read it yourself. But essentially, it's saying you're really live life with meaning, essentially. Don't do things because other people are doing it. Don't do things because someone else tells you to do it, or because your sister that you adore but is actually evil tells you to do so. But yeah, I mean, I love the idea of living life with meaning, of being real with one another, of not hiding behind your fake notions or not letting them take the place of who you are. Overall, this read was a pretty good read. I told you it was addicting. It's just enjoyable. So if you're looking for something more relaxing, something to read and enjoy, this is the perfect book for that. But if you do enjoy reminiscing about the times of high school, of prom, of like all those things, of young romances, this is a very enjoyable read. This is a very sweet, a very enjoyable read.